And after being almost 20 years there, I decided to look at the security domain. Like being inside the vendor for so long, I said, like, beautiful. That's maybe a little bit too much. Let's look to the security domain from like another angle, from some completely different domain. And I joined one of the biggest pharmaceutical enterprise companies, also doing kind of a cybersecurity research. So I was leading their cybersecurity research center, who's then again consisted of classical red team, not so classical, but strategic blue team, and classical threat intelligence. Like it's a giant organization and they're investing a lot into cybersecurity. As soon as their intellectual property is one of the key asset, a lot of crown jewels, a lot of important information, critical information to protect. So they're investing into ISRM like a lot. And it was a completely new world, new experience for me being inside the vendor and then inside the giant enterprise organization was like such a crazy change, to be honest with you, but interesting. It also based on my knowledge and my vision and my experience, it gave me really a lot. And now I'm very happy to be somewhere in the middle, which is a security service provider. We're not a vendor, we're not an enterprise, but we're like working with like so many different cool vendors protecting different giant enterprises all over the world. And this beautiful MSSP called Cyberproof, and I'm responsible for a bunch of security services we're providing, including kind of a use case management. And this is mainly like detection engineering. So part of the detection piece and automation on top of this, providing response, and then advanced threat hunting and cyber threat intelligence. So those kind of three services I'm responsible at the moment.
Wow. So there's a lot that I want to dive into with your 20 years at Kaspersky, right? It's really fascinating to me because I was actually a customer of Kaspersky for a long time. And, I would get like critiqued by it, right? Like, why are you going with this Russian product and everything? But, genuinely, I trusted that, even though it was a headquartered security product in Russia, I still believed, that Russia probably wasn't monitoring it or, didn't have like a backdoor or whatever. I did trust the product and whatnot. And I want to maybe backtrack just a little bit, right? When you were researching the malware, did you ever research, like Stuxnet or any of these like infamous pieces of malware or hacking tools even, right? That was, disclosed by Snowden potentially. Did you ever like reverse engineer any of those? What was it like potentially if you did?
Me personally, yes. Again, not a lot. I'm more focusing on kind of leadership or guiding the guys of where to go and why to go there, and not only that. But again, my team, my folks, they did a lot of reverse engineering of those kind of an APTs, and it was one of the most sophisticated stuff have ever seen in our lives. Again, the most interesting, and one of my colleagues called it like we're doing paleontology. The most interesting piece was to track those kind of an anomalous in the traffic. We analyze so many kind of different logs to hunt for those anomalies, to hunt for those kind of interesting spicy stuff which is not common. Yeah, and we were quite successful.